Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told.
Violence in the West took many forms, and friction between soldiers and settlers was one of them. With a fort just outside the town, Dodge City became an arena for such violence more than once. All it took was the appearance of one old man full of an ancient hatred.
There he is, right there.
You buffalo hunters still think you can run things in Dodge?
Who says we can't?
I do.
You? You ain't big enough to make that stick.
Well, I'm big enough to lick you.
You want to try?
Why not?
Why, you slab-sided young mule. Jake Castor, you old gopher, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, boy. Come on, let's have a drink.
Well, I tell you, I don't drink. And especially with men that are breaking the law.
You got it?
Yep.
What kind of town you running there, boy?
Well, it's the law, Jake.
Law? First thing I ever learned, a man had to keep his eye closed.
Well, that's out in the Toolies, where you roost, not in Dodge.
You mean it, Wyatt? Well, if it was anybody else but you. You want the sharps, too?
No, you just keep that in your saddle boot and everything will be fine. Well, now I'll have a little drink of milk with you. Hey, Soapy.
Yeah,
Bring us around, will you?
all right.
What? What does that thing say?
Why, you old goat, haven't you learned how to read yet?
But, sir, out where I live, talking and sign is all that matters.
You do that pretty well, too, don't you?
In any Indian language you can name.
It's more than I can do.
Why, they're Marshal. I never thought I'd see that. You always did have a wide streak of righteousness in you. I thought you'd gotten over that by now.
Well, I haven't changed much, Jake.
You ain't a boy no more, Wyatt.
No. The years go by.
Yes, they do. Don't they?
What are you doing these days?
Oh, things ain't like they used to be. Times have changed to the bad. Remember how it was the first time I took you out? Buffalo so thick the plains was black with them as far as the eye could see. Just like a rolling ocean.
Yeah, I remember.
Them days a herd was maybe 2 or 3 million animals. Now you're lucky if you can find 8 or 10 of them in a month of hunting.
I know.
Serious, Wyatt. It's why the Indians is fighting. You can't blame them. They're starving. So when I see that, I quit hunting for the forts and trying to feed the soldiers. I'm living with the Cheyenne.
With your wife's people?
My wife said was.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jake. Sorry to hear that.
You got plenty of blue coats here.
Do you mind?
Yeah, especially tonight. Port's not too far away, and today was payday.
Yes, I know.
Be a lot of celebrating. Got every deputy on the street. Which reminds me, I better get to work. Say, by the way, you didn't tell me why you were here in Dodge.
Maybe I'll come to see the town.
You don't care that much for towns.
Maybe I'll come to see you.
Well, you old goat, you didn't even know I was here. You know, you ask an Indian a thing 3 times. The third time he has to tell you the truth. I'm asking you the 3rd time.
You come to see a fella.
What fella?
Don't matter.
Why? Well, I mean, it must be important, otherwise you wouldn't have come all this way.
I got a score to settle.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
I'm the marshal. Knowing how you settle your scores, well, that could mean trouble for you and me.
You're my friend, ain't you?
Yeah.
No need to worry then.
I ask you to move over. You leave me alone. Just because you're an
What do you think you're scuffing?
That's enough, soldier. Hold it. Hey, you better watch out, Marshal. I got friends.
Now, look, you boys start any trouble and you're going to wind up in jail. Now, go on, do your drinking someplace else.
You can't tell us
Come
what
on,
to do.
soldier. You heard the marshal. Now, go on.
Thanks.
I wasn't thinking of you. I was thinking about the bail.
There ought to be a law against those ruffians coming to town, Marshal. Shoving honest citizens around.
You're not hurt, mister. Go on back to your drinking.
Are you siding with them, Earp?
Look, they got a hard, lonely job to do, protecting all of us. They deserve a little spree. Hey, Soapy,
Yeah?
where'd the buffalo hunter go?
Well, I don't know. Guess he must have left, Marshal.
You're all right. You're all right. Look, you sit down right here.
Sit down?
You sit down.
Okay, I sit
I'll get the horse.
Okay, Sergeant, you get the horse.
Huh? Sarge? Sarge! Sarge! I'll kill him. If I ever get my hands on him, I'll kill him.
You leave that to me, soldier.
Oh, no. I know you low-life civilians. If they're blue coats, you don't care. You don't even try. Well, you watch. Sarge's got friends.
Look, if you just stop yammering long enough to tell me what you saw, I might have a better chance to get whoever did it.
I didn't see anything.
Marshal, you don't think it couldn't have been Indians?
Well, those are moccasin tracks. It's the way they do it. And the hair.
No. An Indian wouldn't take that chance, not here in Dodge.
Well, you better find him, Marshal. You better find him quick. Because if you don't...
Wyatt. What are you doing here?
Well, looking for you. I had a hard time finding you.
You can't sleep inside walls. On them soft beds. You're up mighty early.
Well, I'll tell you, I hadn't been to bed yet. How long you been here?
Oh, some little time, I reckon. Why?
You ever hear of a big Irish sergeant named McCafferty?
No, I can't say I have. I don't blanket with soldiers, you know that. Why?
He's been killed. Indian style.
He has?
Scalped. With a knife like that. By a man wearing moccasins.
You think I killed him, Wyatt?
I haven't any other suspect, Jake.
He probably had it coming to him. Besides, what reason I have to kill him?
I don't know. You said you had a score to settle. It was McCafferty you were staring at in the saloon last night.
That's so.
And you're bitter, Jake.
Why shouldn't I be?
Don't pay to be bitter.
You know how our life was. Kind of life a man could be content with. Kind of man was meant to live.
But you can't stop a whole nation bent on moving, Jake. You gotta accept what's bound to be.
Sodbusters, cow wranglers, bone pickers.
They're people looking for homes. They gotta live too.
And what about us? Oh, they just better stay out of my way. And them bluecoats, them's the worst. Murderers, all of them.
McCafferty?
You really think I killed him?
Yeah. I think so, Jake.
If I said I did, what did you do about it?
Only one thing I could do.
Wyatt, you and me, we mean two different things when we say friend. This is just supposing if I killed the bluecoat.
Did you, Jake?
What reason would I have?
Did you?
Wyatt, I already told you.
Did you, Jake?
I ain't no Indian, Wyatt. Where you going?
Well, first off, I'm going over to the fort.
Associating with bluecoats, huh?
Gotta take back the body. Try and stop the trouble that's bound to come.
If you think I did it, ain't you afraid I'll run out on you?
But if you do, then I'll know. And I'll come after you.
My friend. My friend.
That's why, Jake, you're gonna have to tell me yourself.
Well, Marshal, surprised you ventured out here.
I brought the body.
You needn't have bothered. We were sending a detail.
Well, sir, I'd rather you kept your men out of Dodge until after this is cleared up.
My men wear the uniform of their country. They can go anywhere in these United States they wish, including Dodge.
Of course, sir. But I don't think you want trouble any more than I do.
The cavalry doesn't look for trouble, Marshal, but they're ready for it when it comes their way. You just worry about your civilians.
Well, the civilians don't start every fight, sir. But that's not what we're talking about now. We can discuss that in a few days after I get the murderer.
Do you really think you ever will?
Maybe.
I'm not concerned about where my men go off duty.
Sir, you could keep them on the post under orders for a couple of days.
I could, but I won't. In fact, I've already given leave to B Company today, after the burial. That's McCafferty's company.
Sir, that's deliberate incitement to riot. Is that what you want? You realize that'll cause more bloodshed?
If you can't keep order in Dodge, I can arrange to have martial law declared.
Well, then you better do that right now.
Maybe I will, tomorrow. Unless, of course, you can find the man who did it first.
Will you help me?
How?
I'd like to take a look at McCafferty's service records.
Why?
Because I think it was a personal grudge. Maybe we can find a clue in the records.
I can't give you that without orders from Washington.
Well, then at least let me talk to some of his friends.
I don't think they'd even talk to you.
Thanks.
Oh, Marshal. This is Mrs. McCafferty.
I come to see the man who brought him. I come to thank you, Marshal, for bringing him home to me.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Are you? Are you, Marshal? Then why don't you find the man who did it?
I'm trying to. Will you help me?
Help you?
Colonel, could I speak to Mrs. McCafferty in your office?
Well, all right.
Sit down, man. Now, Mrs. McCafferty, can you tell me any reason anyone might have for killing your husband?
Only that you didn't protect him. That you let a lot of scum and killers run around loose.
Well, I think this is personal, ma'am. Did your husband have any enemies?
Patrick? Not an enemy in the world. He was an angel.
Yes, but was there anything in the past, before he met you?
You'll not be getting me to say anyone had a right to kill him.
Did Mr. McCafferty ever mention a man named Jake Castor?
Castor? No, never. It's not help from me you'll be needing, Marshal.
Well, where was your husband born?
Ohio, I think. He came to Colorado as a boy.
Colorado? He joined the Army there?
Yes,
Colorado Volunteers?
during the Civil War.
Well, could it have been something about the Indians? Cheyenne? It was the Colorado Volunteers at Sand Creek, wasn't it? Please tell me, Mrs. McCafferty.
Oh, no, it couldn't be. Surely. But he was at Sand Creek.
Tell me.
Well, it was the only thing he ever did he was ashamed of. Bothered him something awful for a time. You understand he was under orders.
Yes, sir.
But he said something seemed to happen to all the men that day, even him. They seemed to go crazy with the Indian killing. You heard it was horrible. Even their women and children. He couldn't get it off his mind. He used to wake up at night crying and moaning and... Well, I told him he had to forget it. That the Lord would forgive him. It made a better soldier out of him. He hated the Indian fights, but he did his job the best he could. He was a good man.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, Mrs. McCafferty. Maybe you gave me the answer I need.
Wyatt, I've lined up some men for deputies and commandeered some wagons for a barricade. Now, I know you didn't order this, but I figure we ought to fight at the start.
All right, Hal.
Did you learn anything out there?
Some. Jake? Tell me about Sand Creek.
What do you mean?
Oh, I've heard about it, just like everybody else has, but not from somebody that was there. There were white men with the Cheyenne that day. George, Charlie Bent, Ed Gary, and Jake Castor.
What are you driving at?
I want to hear it from you.
Sure. Why not? It's a great victory. Just like they said. Surprise attack on a peaceful village, naked and starving Indians. Thought they were under a flag of truce. 300 of them butchered. 3 out of 4 women and kids.
Jake, your wife, what happened to her?
Right in front of my eye. And I couldn't do a thing about it. I didn't even have a gun. My wife. is my son still in her arms. And I couldn't do nothing about it. Nothing at all. But I saw his face, and I never forgot it. It trailed him all over the West.
McCafferty?
If it was. Hadn't I the right?
It's hard to say no to that, Jake. That many men would. Probably a jury wouldn't. But the Bible says no. Jake, there was blood enough spilled that day. There's already a trail of red all over the West.
And it ain't finished yet.
Look, we're all ashamed about what happened at Sand Creek, the whole nation. Shivington was court-martialed and forced out of the Army for it. Congress has voted indemnities.
Indemnities.
All I know is that the answer to killing is not more killing.
Well, I'm an old man. I ain't got much time left. But I gotta be out in the open. Gotta be free.
All right. Nobody takes any action without my orders. Not a shot fired until I say so. Everybody understand that?
You think you can stop them with talk, Wyatt?
I can try.
They're coming. What? They're coming.
All right, let's go.
Wyatt, give me my gun. I'll help.
I don't want your help, Jake.
Wyatt, we've been friends a long time.
Bill, get those men out of there. Go on, get back.
Get out of the way, Marshal.
You men are violating the law coming into this town armed. Now, any of you who want to drop your guns and swear to keep the peace can come in.
I reckon we'll come our way, Marshal.
You realize what you're doing? You wear the uniform of the U.S. Army. These are U.S. citizens.
They should have thought of that before. We didn't start the trouble.
Neither did they.
Well, have you found out who did, Marshal? Well, maybe we can. All right, get out of the way, Marshal. We're coming through, and you can't stop us.
Wait!
Jake!
Wait! You want McCafferty's killer? Well, here he is. I killed him. I had good reason. You want to know why?
Jake.
All right, Wyatt. Maybe I was wrong.
Hold it! First man to pull a gun goes to jail. Now, he's my prisoner. You either go on back to your post or come in peacefully.
I just want to know why. I want to know why you killed my husband. You said you had a good reason, and I want to know before I kill you.
Mrs. McCafferty. His wife and baby died at Sand Creek. Come on, Jake.
All right, move out.
Well, he cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country, he made law and order prevail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
Oh, Wyatt Earp, Wyatt